Another project that we're working on is a farm project. Almost all food banks rely exclusively on donated food. But what if that wasn't the case? What if we grew our own food? That's exactly what we're doing. This is our farm. The land is owned by the Oregon Department of Corrections. It's 123 acres, and we have a 10-year dollar-a-year lease on this land. On this land, we can grow corn, squash, or even the oats that we'll put in our protein patties. We're partnering with Iverson Farms. The Iversons are renting the land from us, but instead of paying us in cash, they're paying us a percentage of the food harvested. This arrangement, it capitalizes on the farmer's expertise and maximizes the amount of food being delivered to the food share. We have 123 acres now. What if we had 1,000 acres? You could help make that possible. This farm is just another way we are changing how the food share works and partners with those in our community. Another project we're working on is increasing our purchasing power by buying in bulk by the semi-load. This is an example of how we can help stretch and make a great impact on your cash donations. But the difficulty of buying in bulk by the semi-load is processing it and packaging it. So with the help of a community grant, we have bought that processing line right there, or we will be buying that processing line. It'll be staffed by volunteers. Instead of buying pasta, cereal, beans, or rice from a store, we can buy it to wholesalers and commodity brokers. This machine will help us quickly repack frozen and bulk foods and put it into family-sized packages that will go to our agencies and then out into the food boxes. With this machine, we'll also have a stronger relationship with our canneries and farmers. Every year, farmers and canneries, once they meet their quotas, they stop production. And there's not a place to take that extra food that's literally left on the farm or in the cannery. We can be a recipient site now for surplus food, repackage it, distribute it to our agencies and to our families. With this machine, we're going to be able to have a stronger partnerships with our farmers and canneries. Another project that we're working on is an extremely exciting, large project. What Steve is perfecting in the kitchen is the recipe, the taste and texture, and the nutritional qualities of those patties. But ultimately, we want to bring these patties to all the families we serve. And to do that, and we want to bring it to the families we serve, and if we're successful, and we expect we will be, we can make this available to other food banks in the state or in the nation. And we actually want to turn this into a revenue source for Marion Polk Food Share. But first steps first. To begin generating enough patties for the families in Marion Polk Food Share, we will need to have a processing line. And so to do that, we are now partnering with Oregon Youth Authority at the McLaren facilities to build a food processing line. McLaren is providing the building and the labor. We are providing the cooking equipment and the processing equipment. The partnership with Oregon Youth Authority is more than just a food line. It's going to be a job center for the youth, a hands-on classroom. It's going to provide practical work experience for the youth that they can apply to a job after the release. You see, our goal at Marion Polk Food Share is to increase the supply of food, but we also have another goal, increase the supply of food to our partnering agencies. But we have another goal, is to decrease the need for food at our partnering agencies. And so to that end, we also have classes. We have classes on reading fundamentals, cooking and nutrition, food preservation, financial literacy. We have programs on women ending hunger, job skills training, prison workforce development. And believe it or not, we are looking into aquaponics and creating our very own soup line. You see, the basis for all of our projects is this. Is it good for the families we serve, and is it good for the community? Healthy families, healthy communities. That's how we roll at Marion Polk Food Share.
Hi, my name is Ian Dixon McDonald, and my job at Marion Polk Food Share is to end hunger. I do so by serving as the Community Gardens Program Director. This is the Southeast Salem Neighborhood Garden. I'm unable to be here today because I'm at a conference in Washington, D.C., Our community was one of only 10 in the nation selected for the Pioneering Healthier Communities Initiative grant. This was funded by the Center for Disease Control and awarded to our local YMCA. The Community Gardens program is part of the exciting innovation happening at Marion Polk Food Share. We run the largest gardens program in the state with 41 gardens associated with our program. Right here we have a mix of purple cauliflower and broccoli that was overwintered. This is a demo plot showing that we can grow food year-round in Oregon. Looks like spring is almost here. In early February, the shrubs are starting to form their buds. Here we have a crop of fava beans, and fava beans are an excellent overwintering cover crop. Fava beans produce an edible bean, and they also are a nitrogen fixer, so they replenish nutrients in the soil. Our program has 3 areas of focus. 1, we provide access to gardening space, supplies, and expertise to families in need across Marion and Polk counties. Our gardens are part of the preventive work of Marion Polk Food Share. We prevent families from needing a food box to begin with by empowering them with the tools and resources to grow their own food. We're promoting self-sufficiency in strong neighborhoods that don't need emergency food to begin with. 2nd, we provide gardening education for youth that plant seeds for lifelong healthy habits. Through after-school and summer programs, we teach children where their food comes from, how to eat healthy food, and how to cook and prepare that food. Kids that grow up knowing how to grow their own food are more likely to make healthy choices throughout their lives. 3rd, we provide opportunities for young adults to gain work experience and employment skills. Our summer horticulture program at the Oregon School for the Deaf works with teens in running a small business and promoting civic engagement. We're also developing new programs that support micro-enterprise projects at community gardens. Our program works to end hunger through innovation, prevention, and addressing the root causes of food insecurity. We want to see neighborhoods with the resources to feed themselves and children that grow up knowing how to grow their own food. We envision a community with no hunger.
Hi, my name is Rachel Humpert, and my job at Marion Polk Food Share is to end hunger. I do this by serving as a Sustained Giving Coordinator. In my position, my phone rings a lot. Most people call me to ask how they can join the Sustainer Circle or to increase their monthly gift. But sometimes the person on the other end of the line is calling to find out where they can get emergency food. One Thursday afternoon, I received a call that forever changed the way I feel about my job at Marion Polk Food Share and the services we provide. It was nearly 5 o'clock and I was getting ready to head home when my phone rang. Good afternoon, this is Rachel. The voice on the other end wanted to know how he could get a food box delivered to his family. Now, normally I would have asked him what part of town he was in, and then I would have given him the contact information and hours of operation for the pantries in that area. But this gentleman was asking for an agency that made deliveries, and I didn't know which, if any, did that. So I asked him to hold while I connected him with a colleague who works with our 95 partner agencies. I don't think 90 seconds passed before my phone rang again. It was that same gentleman. His name was Kevin, and he had gotten a voicemail message that said he would have to wait until Monday. Kevin didn't think his family would last that long. I had to help. Kevin continued and shared why he needed the food box to be delivered. His family didn't have a car, and since returning home from his second tour of duty in Iraq, Kevin was a stay-at-home dad to his 3 kids. He had a 13-year-old daughter and 2 boys, ages 3 and 2. There was more to the story. Kevin had been discharged from his military service after being shot in the head while serving in Iraq. This injury left him with a seizure disorder and unable to drive. I still didn't know which of our partner agencies delivered, so I took down his phone number and said I would call him back. As soon as I hung up the phone, I got to work. But since it was the end of the day, there weren't many folks around to ask, and those that were left were in the same boat as I was. So I couldn't call Kevin back with that information. I couldn't go home to my own family, my own kids, with the image of his going to bed hungry that night. Thankfully, a member of our senior executive team said he would put a food box together and he would deliver it himself. So as that food box was being prepared in our warehouse, I made the call to Kevin. When I told him we would be getting food to his family that evening, he broke down. His voice became thick with tears as he called himself some pretty terrible names. He said he felt guilty for not being able to provide for his family. He felt like a failure. I tried to console him. I told him he needn't feel that way. Our purpose is to help families just like his in situations just like these. Before we hung up the phone, Kevin had one more request: milk. The whole time we had been talking, I could hear a child crying in the background, and I will remember his words forever. I know beggars can't be choosers, but is there any way you could get us some milk? My son's been crying all day. All he wants is milk, and I don't have any for him. Thinking of my own son about that same age, I ran down to the warehouse and made sure milk made it into their food box. Now, I knew that they were getting some healthy stuff. There was going to be pasta and tomato sauce, peanut butter, canned veggies and fruits, and of course now milk. But I had to do more. While on my way home, I stopped at the grocery store. I loaded up a basket with some fresh fruit, some bananas and oranges. I grabbed some chicken, some eggs, some cheese, cereal. And before heading to the checkout, I grabbed a box of ice cream sandwiches. Ice cream puts a smile on everyone's face, and this family needed to smile. I took the groceries to Kevin's house, and when I got there, I met his daughter and one of his sons. His little boy was holding a jar of pasta sauce and had a huge grin on his face. They were so excited you would have thought it was Christmas morning. I left the groceries and my business card and said that if they ever needed anything, to please give me a call. As I got into my car, I immediately felt better knowing that, at least for the time being, this family was going to be okay. The following Monday, Kevin called again, his voice happier, lighter. He was just calling to say thank you. Now, this is the story I share with my friends and family when they ask me about where I work. I am proud to be part of an organization that is innovative enough to let its employees, its staff, go that extra mile. While we do not distribute food directly from our warehouse, this exceptional situation gave me the opportunity to meet one family being served by the work we do. I'm also a proud member of our Sustainer Circle. I know now firsthand one family that has been helped by my monthly gift. Now, right now, you guys may be feeling a little overwhelmed by the facts and figures you've heard today. I ask that you don't get bogged down in the enormity of the hunger issues facing our community. Instead, think about what you can do for that one family, just one child. Here's one fact I do want you to remember. $10 provides a 3 to 5 day emergency food supply to one family. Now look around this room. Look around. If each one of you gave just $10 a month, you could ensure emergency food to 300 families. 300 families each and every month. Now what if you went back to your offices and got 10 more people to join you with that $10? That's 3,000 families. Every month, 3,000 families. But it's more than that. It's so much more. That $10 a month not only puts food on the table for one family tonight, but it can also fund the innovation that you've heard about today. You are the essential element needed to take our community from hunger to hope.